Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Prashant Saramej and today I'll be taking this module on overview of bakery machineries, mixtures, forming machine, ovens. Under this paper, bakery and confectionery technology. Today we will discuss in this module different type of equipments which are being used in a bakery units. The objective of this lesson is to give an overview of the equipments used in bakery industries like mixtures, shape forming machine and baking ovens. So bakery units can be classified as manual, automatic or fully automatic. In small scale, mixing and dough preparation is done manually. Such units used electric or wood-fired brick oven for baking, but in medium and large bakery units, they rely extensively on bakery machineries and automatic systems. Mechanized systems are required in bakery plant because of following reasons. It enables large scale production and thus economy of scale is possible. These equipments are required for continuous operation to make different products on the same production line. It saves time by rapid processing. Equipments help for hygienic processing of bakery products. It minimizes manual and labor material handling. It gives consistent product quality. It helps to for automatic weighing and metering of the formulation, better control over the production, and by using sensors and electronic controls, entire bakery plant can be centrally controlled. Mixtures. Mixing is a term used to describe combined process of stirring, beating and blending. Proper mixing of ingredients is a prerequisite for good quality bakery product. The objective of mixing are transfer of energy to the dough during mixing helps to increase gas retention and increase bread volume, uniform distribution of ingredients and optimum blending with water to form coherent dough to achieve desirable dough properties which are strongly influenced by mixing. Mixing also helps to transfer energy to the mix to develop gluten network. This transfer of energy depends on the time of mixing, geometry of mixing tool and ball. It results in minimum loss of additives. It helps to incorporate air into the mix and it helps in development or prevention of gluten network. Types of mixture. Mixtures can be broadly classified as vertical mixture and horizontal mixtures. In vertical mixture, mixing tool or beaters are mounted on a vertical shaft. The shaft not only rotates about its own axis but also has a penetrantly circular motion inside the ball. In few dough mixture, there may be 2 or 3 intermeshing beaters. In such case, beaters rotate on fixed shaft. The mixing ball may be detachable with provision to lower the mixing tool into the bowl or to lift the ball to the level of beater. In few models, the head consisting of drive, that is the motor, shaft and beater can be tilted back to remove the ball. In fixed type mixture, there is provision to tilt the ball and remove the dough. The beaters are available in various geometry, each having some specific application. Few are like a rod, few are like a mesh, few are in the shape of jigsaw manner. So such type of beaters are used for different application, particularly in different type of formation of dough or making of different paste or mixing of cream or some other application. Horizontal mixtures. In case of horizontal mixture, The mixing tool or beater are mounted on a horizontal shaft. Such mixers are used for high speed operation. There is a cabinet which is rotated by the means of motor. That could be one possibility, or one type of horizontal mixer. In other type of horizontal mixer, the cabinet or the storage box is stationary and the beater is moving. There is a provision of door for loading of the material and unloading of the mixed dough. Motor is provided with a gear and a speed controller so that the speed of rotation of this mixture can be controlled. So there are two basic models of horizontal mixture. First, in which bowl is fixed and the beater rotates. In the second type, the bowl rotates and the beater is fixed. Bowl has a door for loading of ingredients and unloading of dough. In such type of horizontal mixture, generally these mixtures are installed at a height so that trolleys can be easily brought near to the door and unloaded dough can be taken in the trolleys, so that the dough can be taken to some other equipment or can be sent to other section for further processing. There are three different types of forming machine. The first is gauging, sheeting and cutting. Second is a rotary molding, and third is extruding. In sheeting, basically the dough is fed into a hopper and it is rolled into thin sheet. The desired thickness is achieved in the gauging unit and it goes to the cutting roll for cutting into different pieces. In this form, the dough pieces are formed. In a rotary molding, the dough is fed to a hopper. There are rotary rollers available in which the shape of the dough piece is embossed or it is in the form of mold over the rotary roller. So when the dough is fed, it is pressed on the roll, molding roll, and it is filled by the dough. And it takes the shape in which the grooves are being cut. And in this way, the dough pieces are formed. In the third case, the extruding, the dough is passed through a die under pressure. So there are pressing rolls, a hopper in which dough is fed, it is pressed and the dough is passed through a die, and there is a wire cutter which cuts the dough into pieces. In this way, the different dough pieces are formed. Sheeter. Sheeter comprises of hopper and two or three rollers to form the sheet. Dough is loaded in the hopper and it is pressed by the rollers into thin rectangular sheet. The function of this sheeter is to form dough sheet of uniform thickness and width, which can further be cut into pieces or given some uniform shape, maybe for biscuit or some other product, to compress the dough into compact sheet and remove air or hole, for smoothing of uneven surface and to remove untrapped air. Below this hopper and roller assembly, there is a conveyor line which is a belt conveyor type on which this sheet is formed, and the sheet is carried by the help of belt rollers. After cutting, sometimes leftover material has to be reused. So after cutting of the sheet, whatever leftover material is then fed back to the sheeter. The scrap material get mixed with the dough in the hopper, and in this way the wastage is reduced. Gauge roll unit. It is used to reduce dough sheet to required thickness. Gauging unit is installed after the dough sheeter. Once the dough is spread in form of sheet using dough sheeter, sometimes the thickness is too much which need to be reduced. So this is done in the gauge roll unit. The unit consists of two or three set of solid rolls to press the sheet and reduce the thickness. Sometimes these set of rolls are placed in series so that there is subsequent reduction in thickness of the sheet. So multiple roller gauging units are used to obtain thinner dough sheet. Once the dough sheet is formed by the sheeter and it is brought to a desirable thickness using the gauge roll, it is cut into pieces of desired shape and size using the cutting machine. So after the dough comes from the gauge roller, it goes to the cutting machine. So cutting machines are of two types. The first one is a reciprocating cutter and the second one is a rotary cutter. So in the reciprocating cutter, as the name suggests, there is a ejector and a knife together. This forms the head and this moves in to and fro motion, and therefore this is a reciprocating cutter. The dough sheet moves over the belt conveyor and the reciprocating cutter, the ejector and the cutter blade, it moves in such a fashion that the dough sheet is cut into definite shape or size. The B type is the rotary cutter, in which there is a roller on which the cutting shape is made. So when the dough sheet is moving over a conveyor, it passes through the rotary cutter and it is cut into desirable size and shape. So these cutting machines can be summarized as reciprocating cutters and rotary cutters. We'll be looking in detail of these equipments, the basic working and the way these are being operated in the consecutive slides. Reciprocating cutter. The reciprocating head consists of cutter and ejector plate. The cutter and ejector plates are held together, and as the dough sheet moves over the cutting web or a belt conveyor, the ejector is pushed inward and cutter outward. So cutter edge touches the dough sheet and cutting takes place. The sharp edge of cutter cuts the sheet into definite size or shape. The cutter moves to its original position and the ejector is released. So the ejector pushes and holds the piece firmly to the conveyor or cutting web. The pieces stick to cutting web so that it is not lifted by the reciprocating head. By reciprocating head, we mean that the movement of the cutter and ejector plates is up and down or to and fro. The timing of the reciprocating head and conveyor speed is synchronized to get definite row of dough pieces. The ejector plate may have some embossing or some trademark of the manufacturer or some decorative pattern or some flowers, so that is imprinted over the cut dough pieces. Rotary cutters. The system consists of dockering, cutting and anvil rolls. The sheet which has been formed by the dough sheeter and which has been formed to uniform thickness using the gauge roll unit comes to the rotary cutter. There is a cutting web that is moving at the bottom or a belt conveyor that is running below this equipment. The dough sheet moves over this belt conveyor. The purpose of the dockering is to hold the sheet firmly to the belt conveyor, and in case of the cutting roll there are different grooves or molds formed in the roller. The shapes could be round, oval, rectangular, or square, and whatever thickness of the dough piece is required of that size, the molds are cut in the rotary roll. As the dough is pressed by the cutting roll, so the dough is cut into the requisite shape which is provided in the cutting rolls. The cutting edge pattern or embossing is mounted on the cutting roll. The wastage is carried along with the roller conveyor towards the anvil roll, and it is again sent back to the dough sheeter so that the wastage could be reduced. In the equipment of rotary cutter, the important equipment or the important component is the cutting roll. The efficiency of the cutting or shaping depends on the perfection of the cutting roll. So there are different patterns which are provided in the cutting roll to get different shape or size of dough pieces. These shapes could be round, so it is said as round cutter. The shapes could be triangle. For formation of rectangle pieces, rectangular cutter is used. For hexagonal shaped dough pieces, hex scrapeless cutter is used. It is worth to mention that in case of triangle, rectangular and hex, the wastage is minimum because the dough sheet is perfectly cut into a definite size and there is minimum wastage of the dough. The next one is hex scrapeless cutter and donut cutter. Rotary molding. The rotary molder unit consists of a hopper in which dough is fed. There are molding rolls in which there is a roll and different shape of molds are engraved in the roll. There is a pressing or forcing roll. A rubber extraction roll is used to remove the dough paste from the molding roll, extraction web, and a scraping knife to keep the extraction web clean. Rotary molders are widely used to form biscuit pieces from short dough. Molding roll has grooves mold in which dough is filled from the hopper. The mold can be of different shape like circular, rectangular, square, triangular, etc. The pressing roll ensures that molds are completely filled with dough and the surface is smoothened. The knife placed over the molding roll cuts the filled dough and scrapes the excess material. It also gives a smooth surface to the dough piece. Once the pieces are molded, these pieces are picked up by the extraction web moving on the rubber roller. In case some material is stuck to the extraction web, that is removed by a knife provided at the end of the equipment. Extruding. In extruding machinery, the dough is fed to the hopper. There are pressing or extruding rolls. So, two or more extruding rolls are used to press the dough into the narrow pressure duct. The dough is extruded into a definite shape through the die located at the bottom of pressure duct. So there is provision to change the die depending on the requirement. If we want to change the shape or size of the dough pieces, accordingly the die can be replaced. A reciprocating wire cutter mechanism cuts the extruded dough, forming separate pieces. Sometimes rotating knife with sharp edges are used for cutting. In continuous extruder, dough is forced continuously into the pressure duct and the pieces are cut simultaneously by the wire cutter. In some extruder, pressing of dough and cutting is done alternatively. The dough pieces, once they are formed after extrusion, that is gradually picked up over a belt conveyor. So there is a definite pattern, or one row of dough pieces is produced. In case multiple dough rows are required, then there could be single head or more than two heads. So multiple rows of dough pieces are formed. Baking ovens can be classified as rotary rack ovens, deck ovens, tunnel ovens. Now, rotary rack ovens and these deck ovens are basically batch type equipments and are used in small scale units. But tunnel ovens are used for continuous operation in large bakery units. In rotary rack ovens, there are trolleys in which there are number of shelves, and these are loaded into the oven. The basic purpose of such type of using trolleys are to save loading and unloading time. So once the material is being baked in the oven, it is taken out, that entire trolley, and the next trolley is ready for loading into the oven. The purpose of the rotating or rotation of the uh, trolley is for uniform baking or uniform heat transfer. The deck ovens are basically cabinet type of ovens. It may have two or three compartments to have different product or to have different temperature for different products. In tunnel type oven, there is a large cabinet on which a conveyor is moving, generally a stainless mesh wire conveyor is moving, on which the product moves, and it is said as a tunnel because it is uh, like a big hall or a cabinet which goes in a length. So product moves from one end to the other end, and different temperatures are maintained in the different zones of the tunnel. By the time the product reaches the end of the tunnel, it is uniformly baked or uniformly cooked. Rotary rack oven. In rotary rack oven, the oven consists of a rotating rack with provision to load trolley. The purpose of rotation of the rack is for uniform baking, so that the heat is uniformly transferred to the dough pieces. Each trolley will have 10 to 15 shelves to hold the tray. Product is heated uniformly on the rotating rack. The purpose of the trolley is that once one batch is made, immediately that batch is removed and next trolley is ready for loading. So it saves time for loading and unloading. Therefore, there are about 3, 4 or more than that trolleys available with the rotary rack oven. The mode of heating is forced convection, and maximum baking temperature achieved is around 300 degrees centigrade. Mostly the air is heated and is blown across the cabinet, or sometimes it is a combination of forced air convection and also the walls are heated by electric heater. Rotary rack oven can be further classified as fixed trolley oven, single trolley oven, double trolley oven, or multiple trolley oven. So basically rotary rack ovens are batch type ovens. Deck ovens. Deck ovens are used on small scale and generally are electrical heated. Mostly such type of deck ovens are found in confectionery shops or small restaurant in which small scale baking has to be done. Deck ovens are widely used for uh, baking of pizza or donuts or cookies, which can be easily done in small scale level. Deck oven generally have trays or racks on which the product is loaded, or it may be just rod wire frame on which the trays could be loaded. Sometimes there could be different heating chambers which are one over the other. In case if different temperature is required, so different type of product can be made in different chambers. But few of the dock oven may have just one chamber in which only one temperature could be maintained. The mode of heating is mainly conduction, and electric heaters are provided on the walls or at the bottom. The heating chambers have individual control to bake multiple products at a time in case of multiple heating chamber deck ovens. Tunnel ovens are widely used for continuous baking operation. In biscuit industry or cake industry or confectionery industry, tunnel ovens are most common. Once the dough is formed into dough pieces, the pieces move over a steel band or wire mesh conveyor. The tunnel is completely enclosed to maintain the temperature. The speed of the conveyor determines the resident time of product in the oven. So this conveyor speed can be changed depending on the product. So if 20 minutes baking is required, so the speed is adjusted such that the product enters the tunnel and leaves the tunnel in 20 minutes duration. The oven temperature and conveyor speed is set such that the product is completely baked before leaving the tunnel. The tunnel is divided into 2, 3 or more temperature zone, and there is separate temperature controller provided for each of this zone. Sometimes in few of the specialized product in which sometimes crust formation is important, there may be requirement of different temperature profile. So initial heating or fast heating can be controlled using temperature controllers of different temperature zone. Sometimes at the end of tunnel oven, there is a provision for cooling of the product. So in that case, there is a separate zone for cooling. Thus, to summarize this lesson, we can say that bakery equipments play an important role in quality of bakery products. The understanding of working principle and construction of these equipments, particularly bakery machinery, is required for persons involved in its operation. The classification of different equipments have been covered in this lesson, which will help in selecting right equipment for right use. It will also help to decide which type of equipment has to be selected for batch or continuous operation. Or sometimes bakery equipments will be required for small scale units or sometimes for a large scale unit. So this lesson has given an overview of the equipments which are used in a bakery unit. Thank you students for your listening. Hope you have enjoyed this lesson and you have learned about the bakery machineries.